My name's Kevin. I work as a sales supervisor at a construction company, and I'm having a trouble with the rep from Zappa Incorporated. I went to Zappa Inc. with a junior colleague for a scheduled appointment, but Anthony, the department head, didn't show up in the meeting room even when it was time. Waiting isn't a big deal, but I felt a bit strange, so I decided to check his desk. Excuse me. Is Anthony in? Oh, Anthony, thank you for your time.
Ah, Kevin from Yapra Inc., right? Was it meeting time? My bad, my bad.
He said something surprising with a smile that didn't seem apologetic at all.
I'm about to grab lunch now. You're free, right? Push it back an hour.
What? Now? But we had scheduled for 3 p.m.
It's fine, it's fine. You subcontractors will be fired if you don't listen to me. I'll make sure you go bankrupt. Just do as I say. I'll be back soon. Ah, Kevin, you guys have worked with us many times, so the meeting can be done quickly.
Ah, if you say so, but...
It's fine, I told you, stop nagging. You'll go bald worrying about the little things. Let me enjoy my meal. I'll be back in an hour.
I was worried because he's the type of person to say, subcontractors, both sales and on-site, are a bunch of idiots. Sorry to rush you, but an hour, right? Please make sure to return by then.
Kevin, are you sure about the time? How about we have lunch together and discuss there?
No, that would make him angry. Seems like waiting here is the only option.
What are you whispering about? Ah, I'm starving. Kevin, wait a bit for me.
Then, I'll wait, but are you sure?
You are so persistent, aren't you? It's fine. Let's go, Ken. Let's hurry and grab some food.
Actually, the deadline for the project was 5 p.m. that day, and I had reminded Mr. Anthony about it.
3 p.m. is already cutting it close. Pushing it to 4 p.m., are you sure?
The main contractor said 4 p.m., so we, the subcontractors, have no choice but to wait, frustrating as it is.
Given Anthony's behavior, I doubt everything will go as planned.
While comforting my junior feeling so worried, I decided to prepare as much as I could to move forward immediately, but despite saying that all we could do was wait, it's already 4 p.m. and there's still no sign of Anthony returning.
Kevin, employees from Zappa Inc. have started leaving.
6 p.m. A lot of people from Zappa Inc. have already left. Ah, Anthony. You're back, finally. About this project.
What, you're still here? You're quite persistent.
There's a reason for that. Please, take a look at this document first. As soon as I showed him the document, Anthony raised his voice.
The deadline for the project? It's missed. Kevin, it's your fault we lost the job. Take responsibility.
If Anthony had returned in an hour as you said, we would have made the deadline for this project.
Kevin, are you saying this is my fault?
But in fact, Anthony, you were the one who broke the appointment time first. I reminded you of the time before you left.
Shut up. How dare you argue with me? You have no common sense.
Anthony was furious, making irreversible mistakes because of his own actions.
This is why I hate subcontractors. How much trouble do you think you're causing us?
I'm sorry for any inconvenience to you, but we did repeatedly inform you about the time.
You should have stopped me by any means necessary and proceeded with the negotiation.
That's impossible.
I'm sorry, but given the situation earlier, physically stopping you would have been very difficult.
What? Is this the kind of insolent attitude you teach your young employees at your company?
While belittling our subcontractor company, Zappa Inc. missed out on the job, and we decided to leave the company. I did nothing, yet I'm so tired. Henry, let's head back. Ah, the rush hour.
We waited an extra 2 hours, a total of 3 hours, and he didn't say anything, did he?
He is so terrible. It's unfortunate, but blaming us for his own delay. Later, I heard from Anthony's subordinate, Ken, that Anthony didn't go for lunch but to go for a bar. Weird, right? Looking down on subcontractors, going out to play, and then missing out on work. Normally, you can't even establish a contractor-subcontractor relationship without securing projects together, but it's hard to work with such people. Well, we don't have much choice.
Anthony's subordinate, Ken, was also yelled at. He was forced to go along.
Just when I thought Anthony was a tyrant, a few days later, I got a call on my cell phone from him early in the morning. I thought, what, a call this early? Wow, it's from Anthony.
Hey Kevin. It's me, Anthony from Zappa Incorporated.
Good morning, Anthony. Thank you for everything.
About the other day.
Ah, the project that ran out of time.
Yes, that project. It ran out of time because of you.
Anthony, you were not there, you should have known what would happen.
Yes, that's why I'm calling you now.
Anthony, we were waiting for you, but you went out, and we couldn't make it.
Kevin, if you had stopped me, none of this would have happened.
What?
If you had physically stopped me at that time, it would have been fine.
No, as I said then, it was impossible to physically stop you, Anthony.
You could have stopped me by force. So, it's your fault.
That's absurd.
I'm not saying you personally have to take responsibility. But your company needs to.
What do you mean?
Your company needs to compensate for our losses on that project.
Our company to cover your losses? That's ridiculous.
So, how do you plan to take responsibility for this loss?
With all due respect, we weren't late for the appointment. Anthony made an outrageous claim, trying to blame his failure on me and even suggesting that our company should pay for it.
Figure it out. Or I'll make sure you get fired.
That's impossible.
I have connections in your HR. Being the main contractor, I have more power than you.
Don't be unreasonable. Firing me won't compensate for anything.
Right, firing a useless you won't solve anything.
Can't we just talk this out calmly? Arguing here won't solve anything.
Then I'll tell you what you can do. Come to our company and testify.
Testify? What are you talking about?
Testify in front of our president that I didn't make any mistakes at work.
Testify. That's asking me to lie.
Because of you, our company suffered a loss of opportunity. I was hindered in my work by you, Kevin.
With all due respect. It was because you left ignoring the prior appointment.
Shut up. That's why I said you should have stopped me back then.
But, even if you say so,
I did nothing wrong. Prove that to the president.
prove to your president. That's just absurd.
If you're going to take responsibility for that project, this is the least you can do. Don't you even know how to take responsibility as an adult?
It's because you didn't attend the meeting.
What?
We were stood up by you and had to return empty-handed.
Don't be cheeky. You should just listen to me.
That's How about asking other employees who were there that day to testify?
That's not possible. Unlike your company, we're busy. We can't afford to spend time on such matters.
He was panicking because if someone testifies, it would prove his fault. Maybe my testimony isn't enough, but when talking to the president, internal opinions are also important.
Shut up. Just do as I say and come testify.
Your demands were unreasonable, and I couldn't hang up until he did, leading to a fruitless conversation that continued until he finally hung up. A few days later, I was called in by my manager.
Kevin, what happened at Zappa Inc.? I've heard about your situation at Zappa Inc. from Fuchs.
This is an outrageous false accusation. The message was all about how I supposedly caused a mistake on Zappa Inc.'s project, which was completely untrue.
Is what's written here true?
No. None of this. I have no idea about any of it.
It's hard to believe given your usual performance, but we have to investigate just in case.
Please believe me.
I do believe you, but as a company, we have to put any employee under suspicion on leave until their innocence is proven.
I'm currently handling many projects. It will cause trouble for our clients.
But can you prove that what's written here is false?
That's.
Besides, the sender's address is near Zappa Inc., so for now, the fact seems more credible.
What should I do? The sender was from a convenience store near Zappa Inc., making me pale, thinking it was him, going to such lengths.
What's wrong? Ah. Perfect timing. Could you explain to the manager about what happened during the negotiation at Zappa Inc.?
If a recording is okay, I have it.
A recording? Of what?
From heading to Zappa Inc. to returning without any results. That's everything. Yes, I wanted to learn the whole process, so I kept a record of everything from departure to return on a voice recorder. Really? Thank you so much. I didn't expect to be kept waiting so long and to record it for a long time, but it turned out everything was recorded.
Can I check it right away?
Sure. It's a long recording. Do you have time after this?
We need to resolve this first. I've arranged everything else, so it should be fine.
Can we even call it a negotiation? If it's just the part after Anthony arrived, we should be able to check it quickly. The recording from Henry became evidence, and my reputation was restored, and the bizarre message from Anthony was refuted.
How long did you two wait at that company just to discuss this?
Well, quite a bit. 3 hours. When I was vague in response to the manager's question, Henry, perhaps holding a grudge, answered immediately.
Even though we have various clients. I'm sorry you both had to spend your time like this.
Manager.
It's late, but well done, you've worked hard.
Thanks to Henry, the manager's misunderstanding was cleared, and just as I was taking a breather, I received another call from Anthony.
How's it going, Kevin? You must be close to getting fired by now, right?
Anthony, the email you have sent. Such a thing won't get me fired.
Well, who knows? If you don't want to get fired, just listen to me.
I know that you have sent email to the office too. Why would you do such a terrible thing to me?
Because you didn't listen to me, so it's divine punishment, right? Yeah, divine punishment. If you can't stay at the company, maybe your family will abandon you next.
Please stop, Anthony. You surely don't know about my family.
I'm not interested in your family business. It'd be better if you just got fired quickly.
Please stop pressuring me. I saw the bizarre email sent to the office. but no one really believed in it. A few days later, I was called by the manager again.
Kevin, there's been another issue with Zappa Incorporated.
Again? What happened this time?
Mr. Anthony went to a site where Zappa Inc. subcontractors were working and loudly insulted the subcontractors.
Ah, that was the last site for Zappa Inc., wasn't it? After hearing the report from the manager, I decided to call Mr. Anthony myself. Mr. Anthony, this is Kevin from Yabra Incorporated. Do you have a moment?
Kevin. Have you decided to listen to me?
It's about the demolition site under your company.
What about it? The work was dragging, so I went to give them a pep talk.
The site staff you spoke to are now threatening to boycott your company's work.
What? What do you mean?
Specifically at the demolition site, the progress has significantly stalled. It's a concerning situation for us as it demoralizes the site and causes inconvenience to your company.
If they fall behind schedule, they won't get off easy. Light a fire under those useless guys.
Anthony, your language is too harsh. We will officially express our concerns to your company.
Huh? You're going to file a complaint against me? Know your place as a subcontractor.
Well noted. Talk to you again. I hung up the phone. This time, after exchanging some messages with Anthony, our manager decided to send a complaint to Zappa Inc. on behalf of our company, and I thought Anthony would surely be reprimanded internally. However, a few days later, my phone rang again. Of course, it was Anthony.
Kevin. Because of your company, I got a severe warning from the president. How are you going to take responsibility for this? There's no way I could receive a complaint from a subcontractor.
Anthony's voice over the phone sounded terribly frustrated and panicked, as if he had finally received some attention from above. Anthony, that's the result of your actions. I can't take responsibility for that. After all, I'm just a subcontractor with no authority.
Shut up, the only response I want is yes. Ken is quitting too, everyone's leaving.
Ken, one of the subordinates, seemed to have quit Zappa Inc., which was understandable. The complaint wasn't personally from me. It was delivered by our company to yours. As a responsible employee, I intend to continue dealing sincerely with my duties.
What are you trying to say? That there's a problem with me?
Given your position as a manager, I believe that it is a waste of your time to concern my opinion.
The way you talk is roundabout and annoying, Kevin. Speak clearly.
To put it simply, I find it difficult to work with you, Anthony.
What? You're mixing personal feelings into this. It's work, isn't it?
Yes, it's work, which is why I've been maintaining a polite demeanor.
Right now, it sounds like you're picking a fight with me. To be so upfront about likes and dislikes like this.
But, Anthony, you haven't had any issues with my conduct until now, right?
There's this issue now. Was this attitude because of personal likes and dislikes?
Of course not, I've been handling this issue as part of my job as well.
But, now, with the project and subordinates leaving, it's becoming a big deal.
Maybe it's because you've always handled work based on your mood. This is the reason why the other subordinates have left as well.
What?
I'd like to distance myself from you as well. But as a representative of my company, I can't just run away from my responsibilities.
I don't get what you're trying to say.
I dodged his calls skillfully, persuaded the site staff to resume work, and just as the demolition site construction was successfully completed, a new mid-career hire joined our company.
Let me introduce the new employee. It's Ken, take good care of him.
The new face turned out to be Ken, who had previously worked under Anthony. Ken had left Anthony's employment out of disgust, but, loving his work, he transferred to our company. He spilled the beans about Anthony's past actions to us, confessing that during the 3-hour wait incident, Anthony was actually at a bar. Had I known at the time, I would have been outraged too. It seems Ken plotted some revenge against Anthony.
After I resigned, I sent a letter to all the managers about Anthony's misdeeds.
Ken said Anthony never got fired despite his wrongdoings because he was related to the president. One day, Anthony showed up at our company.
Is Kevin in? I don't have an appointment, but I'd like to say hello.
I wish I could ignore him, but as I happened to pass by the lobby, I recognized that he was there. Anthony, long time no see.
It's been a while, Kevin. Could I have a moment of your time?
Anthony's manner of speaking was so different from before, it felt incredibly off to me. I didn't want to face Anthony alone, so I asked Henry, who was in the office, to join us, and we prepared our company's meeting room to sit down together. As soon as the door closed, Anthony began to speak.
Kevin, help me out. Please. Return the favor for all the subcontracting work I've given you.
A favor, you say?
Zappa Inc. has sent work your way, making you profit, right? Take on our work again. Ken has been spreading strange rumors within the company, and I'm in a tough position now.
Strange rumors and a tough position.
Yeah, Kevin, listen. He spread terrible lies about me being overbearing to subcontractors and going to a bar during work hours, then disappeared. That ingrate Ken.
All lies, then.
Of course, Kevin. I've always taken good care of the subcontractors' representatives. Especially you, Kevin. I've always took good care of you, you know that, right? We even went out drinking together.
Anthony said such flattering things, but all I remembered was being demanded high-cost dinner that didn't fit my schedule and the expenses, which often didn't pass through accounting and ended up being paid out of my own pocket.
The upper management believed such lies. The president is terrible, and the subcontractors avoiding work are the worst.
Is that so?
Kevin, you understand my passion for work. We've been to sites together, you know how earnestly and seriously I work.
I thought, sites. Earnestly. Seriously. I didn't know how he was with others, but his treatment towards me was the worst. Yet, I felt that retaliating would bring me down to his level, so I decided to just listen to Anthony patiently.
We've worked on various projects together, right? We're like comrades in arms. Kevin, you're like a brother to me.
So, yes, Anthony, I've learned a lot from you, and we've worked on sites together, but... I tried to sympathize him, but all I could remember were unpleasant memories of being belittled, looked down upon, and suffering.
The first time we worked together was 2 years ago, right? When you first subcontracted from us. Oh wait, it was your predecessor back then. You took over his position and started working with me around that time.
Yes, my predecessor became ill, which led to me working with you, Anthony. When I said that, it reminded me of something I had tried to forget. My predecessor became ill from being harassed by Anthony, saying he couldn't take it anymore and quit. I heard a lot about you from my predecessor. Working with Anthony would be foolproof.
Nah, you did a better job than that guy. I vouch for you. That guy wasn't much. Can't even remember his name.
Please don't say that. He was great to me. He taught me everything about the job and started the transaction with your company.
He indeed taught me many.
That loser, no need to respect him. Is he still at the company? Or did he quit? If he's still there, he must be useless. If he's gone, he might be unemployed.
Please don't talk about him that way.
Hey, Kevin, don't raise your voice. You're startling me.
Kevin, are you okay?
Sorry, it's nothing. Excuse me. Then, someone knocked on the door.
Kevin, I'll take over.
Ah, thank you, manager.
The manager, who was not unfamiliar with Anthony, exchanged greetings and took a seat.
Anthony, actually, Ken has joined us. We've been hearing a lot about you from him.
Ken. That guy. Whatever he says is nonsense.
What's nonsense?
Ah, well, he's just no good.
That's not true. He's an honest young man. And Kevin is a sincere young man too. It seems you've been quite rough with them.
I did nothing wrong.
What are you talking about? Did you do something to Kevin?
Ah, no.
Under the manager's guidance, Anthony seemed to start slipping up, clearly flustered.
Talking with your manager throws me off. Let me talk to Kevin, the person in charge.
Kevin, what will you do? Shall I talk, or will you?
Please let me handle it, manager.
Talk. It's not about the work we've done so far. What's it about, Kevin?
I don't want to work with you anymore.
Kevin.
The complaint we sent from our company the other day wasn't enough. You've been harassing us subcontractors all this time. Just because we're subcontractors, you've denied our humanity, called us useless, and said terrible things as naturally as breathing.
What are you talking about, you idiot Kevin? Are you betraying me?
There's nothing to betray because I never once considered myself on your side. To be honest, I have nothing but unpleasant feelings towards you, who bullied my predecessor and me. Meeting you for work was nothing but a pain.
You, Kevin, after all the work I've given you, you're betraying me here.
Is that really what you think, Anthony?
No, that's not what I mean. I want to work with you again.
Since you didn't have an appointment today, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave. We can talk another time.
Another time. That'll be too late. I need to have the results immediately. This was my last chance given by the president.
I'm not aware of your circumstances, but as things stand, we cannot engage in business with your company.
No way.
Not just from Kevin, but we've received numerous complaints about you from our site employees. We will report today's visit and your previous actions towards Kevin in writing to your company. I also have the recording of the conversation with you and Kevin.
Don't do anything unnecessary. I won't send work your way.
So, that's your response.
No, I mean, that was just a slip of the tongue.
Anthony, who I thought would start making a scene, stood up, then collapsed to his knees and left, dragging his feet. Later, according to information Ken gathered from a former colleague, it seems Anthony's past misdeeds were fully exposed, and I heard through the grapevine that he had left Zappa Inc. Despite being related to the president, his daily actions left him unprotected. It turned out that Anthony was the only problem at Zappa Inc., and after receiving an apology from them, our company resumed subcontracting without any issues. Moreover, Anthony was not only bad at his job but also got caught embezzling. Being single, there were neither sympathetic nor regretful voices for him. Thanks to that, Our work environment has become a bit easier. Now, under the manager's leadership, I, Henry, and Ken are all working happily.